make sure that this is not happening with your kid. Getting a lot of kids coming in, they're saying they're having really bad insomnia. It's causing them to become anxious and depressed. And we're trying to figure out why the kid has insomnia. And after a few questions, I find out that the kid is sitting on their phone at like 1 o'clock in the morning and, finally passes out after watching their, 500th YouTube short or whatever. That's bad sleep hygiene. And if you look at light, some sort of white or blue light that close to bedtime, it's going to keep you up. It's something in your brain that will say, it's daytime, time to stay awake. You need to take the phone away about 2 hours before it's time to go to sleep. That gives the brain enough time to say, oh, the sun's gone down. I need to start getting some sleepy hormones or, things happening in my brain that will make me tired. And let's just face it, okay? Adults can't even handle these extremely addictive devices and apps that we've created for ourselves. If adults can't even handle them, the kids definitely cannot handle them. The difference is that your child's brain is still developing. And so if your child's brain is developing with this extremely, really, the most addictive device that has ever existed in the history of the world, and you're giving this to your child and you're expecting them just to be able to regulate it themselves and have this perfectly balanced approach to it, it's not going to happen. Your child is not going to be able to regulate their behavior on this. It'll impact the way that their brain is developing at very critical points, and your child will be not as happy as they could be. They will be more depressed than they would likely be. They'll be more anxious than they likely would be, and it's going to mess them up. Now, they might still, get through life and be able to function, but they're not going to be what they could be. And it's because you're not parenting. You need to parent. You need to take the cell phone away. You need to take the tablet away, whatever it is, and you need to regulate your child's behaviors. If your child is addicted to pain medication, you wouldn't just leave it on the counter like, here's the bottle, just help yourself. At least hopefully you wouldn't do that. If your child is a diabetic or if they're have this horrible eating disorder, you wouldn't just leave tons of bottles, liters of soda pop over the counter with, boxes of donuts and Skittles and all the other candies everywhere. Hopefully you wouldn't do that. And neither should you just let your child have totally unlimited access to the most addictive machine in the history of the world. So you make some rules, talk to your kid about it, do it lovingly, explain why you're doing it. Say, look, I'm really worried about your developing brain. This isn't good for you. There's a nearly a pandemic of depressed and anxious children out there, and the data is looking like it's being caused by these devices that have never existed before, and I want to help you. I don't want you to turn out to be horribly depressed and anxious, and so we need to do something about this. We need to set some rules, and they need to be reasonable rules. Let's talk about them. I think getting off your device, at 8 o'clock is a really good idea. And your child might say, oh, that's too early. I'm like, okay, what about 8:30? Maybe we can work on 9. But definitely not till midnight. Say, how many hours on your screen do you think is reasonable? And the average time for kids right now is about 9 hours for a teenager. You say, that's not reasonable. You should be doing other things with your life besides spending 9 hours of your life sitting on your screen. How about something like 2 hours? Maybe you could debate your way to 3. Children have adults so that the adults can help them. Their brains are not developed enough for them to be able to make good decisions consistently for themselves. That's why they have you as a parent. Parents, it's time to step up and parent. If you don't do this for your kid, nobody's going to, and it's going to impact their life.